Hey, Bobby Manning here. Welcome to the Garden Report outside Auerbach Center. Celtics had their intense practice. They were going to work up from a rest day into a first day back for practice into an intense scrimmage day, and that's what this was today, as the Celtics finally officially have their opponent that we can dig into. They already started work on the Bucks yesterday. Bucks now officially on to round 2 and will come to Boston on Sunday and meet the Celtics. 1 o'clock tip-off, game 1 between these two teams that know each other well. Years of battles now between Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jayson Tatum. Remember the 2019 series between these two that didn't go all that well for Boston. Bucks have since been to an East Finals in 2020, a championship, East Finals in 2019, championship in 2021. And now they're looking to repeat, and they'll have to go through Boston to do it. Obviously, they made the surprising choice, to me at least, of dodging Brooklyn in round 1. I was stunned that they lost their last game of the season to drop below Boston, and that is the reason that the Celtics have home court in this series. Celtics made the right choice of embracing that Nets series, and they get the benefit of it now, hosting the Bucks in a Game 1, a Game 7, and a Game 5. Important games and what projects to be a pretty tight series here, even without Chris Middleton. Now, Chris Middleton, as I said in our other video, officially ruled out for this series according to Shams Charania. Ginormous factor. No way around it. Celtics didn't emphasize that at all today. It's still going to be a big challenge with or without him. That's what you expect them to say, but the Bucks, that is a huge one. That would be your point man on Jayson Tatum. That would be one of your facilitators and main scorers in crunch time, especially when Giannis doesn't initiate as much in the final few minutes of games. Middleton's often a guy taking a lot of those big shots in isolation. Now you have Grayson Allen, Pat Connaughton, Wes Matthews. The Bucks are overloaded with shooters in ways, and role guys and contributors up and down the bench that the Nets weren't. So you're going to have a number of different players attacking the Celtics alongside Giannis, which Udoka also told me, more willing passer than the Celtics saw in 2019, or even the team that he went up against with the Nets last year. Udoka was the main schemer for the Nets in terms of how they defended Giannis and the Bucks. Didn't go all that well for the Nets. They lose in 7, a classic Game 7 and series with, of course, the Durant foot on the line. So that's Ime's experience through this, but he emphasized to me today the experience Ben Sullivan, their assistant coach, who was the assistant on the championship Bucks, actually just got his ring 2 weeks ago when the Celtics went up there. He brings a boatload of experience working with Giannis, Mike Budenholzer, who was also a former assistant, next to Greg Popovich and Ime Udoka on that Spurs staff through 2013. Ime even calling him a mentor today. So, ton of connections, parallels going into this series. Obviously, an exceptional matchup between two of, let's say, the 5 best players in the league at this point. So, all of that's going to be ginormous factors going into this one. But Marcus Smart talked today about the game plan, building a wall, things we often hear about Giannis, and the way that that defensive game plan against him is going to transcend any one player. Here's what he had to say.
It's just, when we do switch, once again, that wall still has to be there, regardless of who's on him, no matter who switches on him. He's a force. We know it. He's been showing it. Dude's 7+ feet, wingspan 7+, and he's athletic with it. So, and he's strong. So you're definitely going to need a full team effort. So it doesn't really matter who's on him. It doesn't change the fact that you still have to build that wall.
So defense going to be the name of the game again for the Celtics in this one. They have a great option to throw at Giannis initially in Al Horford, one of the better Giannis defenders in recent years. Now, does he have the ability to defend him one-on-one with how much better Giannis has got since that 2019 series, and frankly how much older Horford has gotten that period? I think that's going to be a key to watch. But the Celtics also have a backline defender now in Robert Williams. His ramp up, as we talked about at practice yesterday, going to be one of the keys going into the series. Middleton aside, Jaylen Brown's health aside, I think Rob and how he looks is going to be one of the deciding factors in this series, because he can play off Brook Lopez, who's more floating on the perimeter than he is posting up these days, especially if he's going to be matched up against Rob. I think you hedge off of Brook and play the interior as a help defender if you're Rob, being able to stop all of the driving that Giannis does in there. Now, that makes you susceptible to the perimeter. Guys are going to have to stay home on the shooters against this team. I don't think you can sell out and play that scheme 100% of the time, but it is going to be a factor in trying to slow Giannis, blocking out the paint, forcing him to shoot jumpers. He does have a reliable mid-ranger, and something that's changed from last year too for Giannis is he's become a fairly reliable free throw shooter. If he goes to the line, that's not a way you can take him out of the game in my mind anymore. But how the Celtics attack the Bucks defense, that's obviously an important thing too. No point man on Tatum. Is it going to be Bobby Portis? Is it going to be double teams that they use in Middleton's absence? Could Drew Holiday even attack the ball, at the point of attack with Tatum on it? I think that's something that you could potentially see here. More likely Drew goes after Brown. They leave one of the perimeter guys on Smart, but that is a trickle-down effect of Middleton's loss. He's almost a bigger loss for the Bucks defensively than he is offensively. They would match up perfectly with the Celtics if they had all their guys available. Does Giannis step up and leave that rover role that Rob plays in to get on Tatum one-on-one? That could be something that changes the series if he ends up shutting down Tatum in that spot, especially if Jaylen Brown's hamstring isn't right. So that's all a factor. These teams match up exceptionally well. Can't wait to get into it. Chris Middleton's absence, that's a swing factor to me. He's obviously a point of attack guy on Tatum. Giannis, he has to step out of that comfort zone if that's going to be the reality for them. No Middleton for the series. Drew, does he step up on Brown? Or does he move to the point of attack on Tatum? Those are all possibilities. We'll be looking out for it all here on CLNS Media. We'll be back at practice on Saturday. Marcus! We just got a hello from Marcus Smart. And, wow, wish you could have turned back and talked, but whatever. Jaylen. We'll be all eyes on him. We'll be all eyes on Marcus driving away there. And it's all on Celtics, all access. CLNS Media, HelloFresh, of course, show them some love. HelloFresh.com/playoff16. HelloFresh.com/playoff16. 16 free meals, 3 free gifts. Go get it. I talked about my experience with that on our Jaylen Brown video. Go check that out as well. And, of course, be back with us for Game 1, post-game. Celtics, all access, CLNS Media. I'm Bobby Manor from Auerbach Center. Talk to you soon.